So hello everyone, I'm Myrmoden here, and welcome to my review of Games Episode 1. And I hope to say right away, I hope the fighting girl gamer, I hope she gets a lot more focus, right? So I went and got my old orchid stick, one of my first ones, like the first real one, expensive ones. So the 4 one, I had previous one as well. I had my first, 20 years ago, this is my first like super tournament version 1, then this is one I use every day. So I had this one close to me when I was watching gamers, so I always have it next to me as I play, maybe like 2-3 hours per day or so fighting games. They fall down behind me or whatever, and let's have it like this then. Yeah, like that. Very professional reviewer. No, but she probably won't get exposure anymore, fortunately, because she already knows the 5 panel of characters, right? So you can see her. It's gonna be like that quiet girl in the corner playing fighting games, probably. But that being said, though, I think it was a very good point here with gamers, is that they felt that, I felt like, okay, it's gonna be like a Shinken, where you just kind of play stuff, and you just hang out, and you have these quirky personalities, because then I'd probably rather watch Shinken. I mean, I'd watch Shinken, but I mean, like, Shinken is more like mature teams, a little more and so on, right? We also, of course, talking about, but because they're like 20 plus something like that. And this is more Myrmoden and younger. But I really liked it. I really liked that they went this path, right? I really liked that, because the fact that she was like, no, we're serious gamers. We have played all these games, we win tournaments, I've been playing in secret for years, supposed to be doing that. These 2 senpais are crazy. One of them is raised by this, like, like this assassin guy with the Marosh. He's this, like, dark avenge team. So, yeah, but like, they seem to be really, really good, right? So, I like that a lot, actually. That, because it's actually kind of funny how they're sort of the anime on actually esport games. They have anime like Batum, where they get the main character, the best player, or the top 10 best player in the world in this game, gets forced to a battle royale place. So, he's like, he's best in a game, and they put him in that game pretty much, right? But on serious, like on life and death, right? And that is much more common. No game, no life. Throw them into that game, and they're really good at that game, right? And so on. So, but there's a very few animes where you ever see someone say, "Oh, we're gonna play like Street Fighter or Guilty Gear." Have Guilty Gear posted in the background, but I used to say Street Fighter because that's the name people most recognize, right? Blast Blue, Tekken, of course, new one. And so on, right? Mars Capcom coming out soon, etc. Right? So that was really nice. And that was a thing in Genshin. They had, because one of the characters is playing it again in Genshin, and he's like one of the best in the past. He's super good, but they kind of need to brush it over. Like, oh, he's good. Like they did one episode when he beats his girlfriend with like perfect, crushing her spirit, like beating her over and over again. He's crushing her. He tried to play against him, and he crushes her. And that is really hilarious and sad at the same time. But otherwise, they never really talk about that. And other gamings, they don't really go into that. Like, we have, for example, Umaru-chan. She's a fighting gamer. They actually have an episode about that. But they never really talk about the games themselves. Maybe this game, maybe they won't. I don't know. I would hope it would be cool if they went into like the mentality of esports and so on, or tournament system or whatever. I don't think they will, but at least I liked it that I was obviously because I'm biased, but I liked it that I was like, okay, a little more serious talking about, okay, we're gonna play this fighting game, we're gonna have tournaments, we're gonna go and win competitions. I liked it a lot, actually. There wasn't my impression first when I read about Synapse before I watched it was like, okay, they're gonna go, have a gamer club, and then they're gonna be like cute and do weird otaku stuff, maybe go cosplay, maybe go to like a comic cosplay. That was like my my feel to it, but it seems to be they're actually going a much more serious with it, and I like that a lot. On the same time, though, the comedy is like, what is this? Like, I mean, some part. I mean, generally cliche comedy, but the ending is still making me hype here. The ending was like Mario Kart reference. That was just so weird. I was like screaming out of like, what is happening when I watched that? What is this scene? Like, he made that you have the main character, right? Amano, and then we have this super cute princess deity, everyone worship her. She's obviously the female main character, so have one male, one female main character, right? And, he breaks her heart, because like, I don't want to go to the club, she's crying, and he's like, yeah, this is kind of sad, but also kind of funny, because he's like, oh, you fucking suck at games anyway, I don't want to be with you! It's just hard to be like, oh, you're a freaking loser at games, get out! And she walks away there crying, kind of, like, whatever, kind of pretending to be, strong. And then it sleeps on a banana. It's like, what is this scene? It's such a juvenile scene, really, right? But because it felt like they're talking about games all the time. I used like Mario Kart, and they had this like really like badam, and she just scans out of there like a turbo. So it feels like suddenly to me, the fact that they suddenly did it Mario Kart reference, right? I didn't say, well, you're like, what is this scene? And I was like, is that Mario Kart? Like, what happened? I just felt that, right? Then earlier, they did have a Mario, Super Mario Bros. 3, right? Reference earlier, right? When she was like, oh, even King Koopa is nice to me, and that was the classic Mario Bros. 3 when you fight Koopa in the last stage here, Bowser, on this like the stony kind of V angle downwards, and you have to jump. He has to like you have to like get him to jump 3 times at the same place to get the holes in it. And she was like, even he was nice to me. I was trying to beat the world record. So but yeah, so that was definitely a game reference there. And that was really funny. You probably need high power level though to get the anime maybe sometimes. But that's the thing. I was like, what is this? What is this joke? And otherwise, I mean, I don't know. I guessed correctly on everything that happened. Maybe it was a little predictable. I don't know. I still liked it, but I was like, he's gonna turn them down. He's gonna be really bad this game. He's gonna do this. He's gonna. And everything I said actually happened. I still laughed a lot though. Especially the thing when he was like, and I said that too. I was like, he's gonna go this thing and then go into the game. He's gonna press the button to play a social Facebook game or something like that. He's gonna go to that Mono-san's assist Mono-san. That's what he's caring about. He's like, oh, you said something? Sorry. She's like, what? I was trying to... Well, it was really funny though, but it was a little predictable. It was very predictable actually. I think almost of it. I don't know why, but it felt like that. But the thing is that I think one thing though is that I work for the games. I work mainly with like US game design and user experience, and I do some game research and general computer science research and so on. I thought a lot of people, like different kind of groups of humans, right? Or different kind of, or I don't mean it's like it's culture-wise. I mean like in the same group of humans, in the sense that if I just go and talk to 100 people here at random, right? Just 100 people here at random, so the same kind of general country, culture, and so on, right? They would have different preference in the actual game, right? And that's very common, and something I talk a lot about in my own work and some of my studies and so on. I look at that in graphs and blah blah, and try to categorize people. And it's very, I won't say it's very common, but it definitely is a very classic group of people that are like playing games for what is called submission fun factor or like pastime fun factor. And those people are generally like games like work World of Warcraft and other kind of like these idle games or so on where you can just play something and you can see it develop over a long time. And World of Warcraft or like massive multiplayer game, it's more like, it's not a game they necessarily like, but that's games that if they're like hardcore gamers and into that, they usually go over there, right? But if they're casual gamers, you just play like some Farmville or some Facebook game. But if they're really hardcore and want to have the kind of a very long time, investment, the kind of building more of a community and so on, then they go into like World of Warcraft or EverQuest or whatever, right? Aeon or Rift or blah 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 and so on, right? Kind of that typical persona that does the game, and he fits at that because he's playing Persia. He's playing like this kind of social media games. He says he's playing this game and they only send stuff to each other. This game it takes like hours and hours of just like kind of grinding. You have to have the weight, but you have to get the energy back. He likes those games, and he's not very into competitive games, right? He's very into this kind of like CS or Street Fighter or those kind of like typical fighting games. He's more into this kind of mellow down long games, right? Personally plays that games, and he's into 2D games, right? He's into like pretty girl games, right? Dating sim games. She's like, and that was funny though. She's like, yeah, Amano. She's like, looks at his game, is like, get the hot blonde chick at school game, pretty much. She's like, and it's like, oh, it's just an accident. I mean, I like those games generally. It's like, not because you were here or in my class, something. Yeah, that was funny. But yeah, he likes those games, right? And so I don't know. I just felt that a lot from. That's why I think the anime did very good there, because like when I saw him before and when they were talking and so on before they even got to kind of the conclusion, he turned it down. I just felt it all the time. Like he's this typical guy. If I would order them in different kind of like persona groups, like design groups, like how do we get this person to buy our games, or can we get the person to buy our games? As I do with my professional life, like I look at different people, right, and I say, okay, is this person gonna buy our game, or yes, but how do I get them invested into it? How do I kill Kira? I put him in this kind of as a pastime gamer, submission game player. He likes to set up scenery. He likes the experience. He's probably more interested in some kind of like a role-playing game, maybe where you have a lot of like interactive social, with other players, or maybe a role-playing game where you really can like control the fate of your character much more, or maybe actually like to linear classic JRPG game, you just play the story and so on, the graphics, and just experience the world and so on. Not very into like hot action games or very, very intense games where you have to make split second. It's more like, hit into like, playing and just enjoying it, right? And see that games also more about, enjoying a story and so on, right? He's more invested into the story and progression of the character and so on. As again, then, like a massive multiplayer game, a lot of people are on the more RP, as a role play as the character, right? But also to see the progression of your own character and they make your own character story. Right? Oh, I am this warrior and I'm this level and I've been fighting these evil guys for 20 years now, and they invest that as well, right? He seems like a person that would like that. And I felt that very strongly when I watched the first 10 or so minutes. And so in that way for me it's very predictable if you say no, because he felt like a person that wouldn't be interested in like CS and so on. So it felt very predictable, but maybe that is because I spend a lot of time on this stuff in my daily life thinking about this stuff. So maybe it wasn't overly predictable. However, though, I think they made it really good because I could feel that like this is how he's presented, and I'm thinking like on like a professional standpoint, I say yes, that actually is a pretty good representation of how that person would be. Not exactly, but I mean it's a general, like if you have this like 8 different groups of people, it's like gamers. I mean, it's a game of gamers, and he's like one of these 8. So he's like group 8 in this order, because it's 8. So he's like he's in the 8th group, and he's of course there are different people in the 8th group, right? And they can also be different, divided in subcategories inside, domains and cultures and blah 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 so on. But it's like, yeah, he's a pretty good candidate for an 8th group, and he feels like an 8th person. Numbers doesn't matter. It's like this is in my work on paper, I have it in some race, and it's like, yeah, he's an 8th, and so I think that the anime did it very well actually. That's what I tried to say. I hope I didn't just mutter too much here, but my point is that I could really sense that he's an 8th, right? And 8 would act like this, and he acted like an 8th. So I think that actually made, for me at least, it made 100% complete sense. So while it was predictable, I think they actually made it really good there, because usually, they have some idea, they have to present something. Like, if let's say, I know this number is hard to follow, because you don't have read my research, but I like, or my work, right? But let's say that he was presented as number 1, right? Oh, it's a typical 1 personality, blah, blah, blah. Then it does this thing. I'll be like, no, that makes no sense. A 1 personality guy, he would be, Then you will see me sit here and rant and say, this is horrible writing. But it's like 1 personality, so he only wise was, blah, blah, blah. I'm kind of, I spent like 1.5 years or something reading psychology, right, at college. I was like, that makes no sense. I work with psychology / game design, and have that same education, and I can tell you, a 1 personality person would never act at this, blah, blah, blah. That's what you hear me say otherwise, right? But now I said, I say yes, because there's like, yes, he's a typical 8, and he acted like an 8 would. So it made sense, right? He can still develop and change his character, he can go back and forth. Maybe he would love to game S1, maybe he will be forced to. I don't know how he's going to join, because he probably will join, of course, eventually, after I made her cry. But yeah, but so far, I think it was actually really well done there. It was predictable, I guess, if you're thinking about this as a kind of deterministic spectrum as I done, perhaps. Maybe I'm a little bored in that sense. But yeah, I really like that. So that's however, though, the anime. A little like Hashimoto Gala yesterday. The start wasn't that good, right? I think. It was okay. I think that's probably, but that's also a problem with pretty much every anime, right? I would say so. I think that would be fair to say. Not every anime, but like they have this problem, right? Where they kind of have to set up the characters. So it's also the hard first episode. Not every anime, some anime does it really, really well. This didn't do it either. I felt that the first 10 minutes, so they weren't bad, but they weren't like, okay, the meeting her at the place was somewhat funny. Seeing the pink-haired girl being like, yeah, get me this stuff, a little funny. But it definitely went a lot more funny when they actually got to the club, right? And a lot more funny and weird when it got to the last part, the banana slate, the crying part, it's like reacting her, playing the game instead. That was really great. So that the last 10 minutes, especially the last 5 minutes, were absolutely 10 out of 10. Super good, right? So and that, however, I would say one thing, if any media, it's always better going like this, right, than going like this. I watched Wonder Woman a few years back. I haven't read about it, thinking about it if I ever care about it. But yeah, Wonder Woman, very, very quickly here. Okay movie, but the problem with that movie, I would say, if anything, is that it goes just down all the time. Not saying it ends at 0, But for me, that movie was really good in the beginning. I loved Themyscira, I loved the big setting of it, I loved Gal Gadot, sorry, what's her name. As one woman, great actor, I think. And I think that was really good. But the more characters were introduced in that movie, the worse it got. Like, yeah, the other characters introduced later on weren't as good actors as the first female actors at Themyscira, and I just felt that the movie just, and was that. For me, then the movie was like, yeah, it's a pretty good movie, but it gives like a bad aftertaste because it started out really well. That is like, because you felt that you got more and more disappointed the more you watched it, kind of, right? This anime just did the reverse. I watched it, I was like, yeah, okay, starting out, I'm like, Geshinken is funny. Geshinken is one of my absolute favorite ever. So I was like, man, Geshinken is better. Geshinken is much better. It's like, yeah, okay, this is funny now. It's like, yeah, the competitive. I like that. And it's like, oh yeah, it's gonna react to. I'm like, no. It's like, yeah. And it's like, oh yeah. And then she comes crying next day, and it's like, yeah, it's thinking, yeah, no, it's really funny. It's like, what's the banana slip? So this anime, that is actually really well known. It gives you a lot of hope, right? Because it went from like, yeah, okay, whoa, what the hell is this, right? So I think that is really great though, and I mean, hopefully it's gonna be really good. It also could be really failure now. There should be the banana thing and so on, but I don't know. That was so weird to his anime. Because the banana thing was so out of the blue, right? And I was thinking, like, how is the actual, like, general comedy gonna be? How is the comedy? And I'm looking at the 5 penalty again. None of the senpais in it. The fighting stick senpai, she isn't in it. The C senpai isn't in it. And those, to me, like, I like those characters because they were typical, like, gamers, like really true esport gamers, right? So I kind of want those more than this random new, like, younger, people, because they're the other senpais, right? These younger kids, so to speak, they're coming in there and being bad at games, and I don't know, maybe it has to be a really good esport anime, and they talk about how can we be good at this. She's like, we're gonna do tournaments, we're gonna compete, we're gonna go to these different esport, and we're gonna do EVO next year. I mean, that could be cool. So how do we trade for that? Do a montage. It could be cool though. However, though, he's an 8 for me, right? As I call it, an 8 persona personality. So he's never gonna wanna do that. Never. It's a hard word for it, but I mean, he's like, he has to have a lot of character. I don't even want to use the word development. It's just a character changes, right? Because nothing wrong being a 2 or a 3 or a 7. As I said, the number doesn't matter. I'm just saying this is just in my head. You can go read like Metal Blank and so on. Like this is just that type of persona, and say it right. You order them in personas or like groups of UX wanter people, and you say this is typical of this thing, and that is how it is. And it's hard to change them. It's hard to change people's like main, what do you want to go between that. It's hard to move someone between the general groups, right? I mean, I've tried. Yeah, I tried. No, but it's really hard because if you like this kind of games, and I'm not talking about the genre, more like what it actually gives you, like what is the gameplay you want. Okay, do you want this like dating sim games, a lot of like interaction with social interactions and yada yada with characters? Do you love those games? You maybe gonna have a hard time playing this super action shooting everyone you see game, typical FPS game, right? It's just very far-fetched if you love puzzle games like that game. Not saying people can't jump back and forth, right? But it's just like, the thing is that, for example, if you're a puzzle gamer and you play puzzle games, thing is that if you're a puzzle gamer and you play them to be the best, you play them to be the fastest, you TPs, you want to get your rocket, you do it with the dancer guys, you want to do that thing, right? You are like a competitive, you're super serious. So obviously my point on it is that person is gonna act like super serious probably as well. So yes, like, I'm gonna shoot everyone, I have to do this. I'm gonna have to learn this method, and they're gonna be applying the way they play Tetris on CS, right? But if you're the person like my mother, she plays a lot of Tetris, or you should do at least. No, she plays one of my games actually. Yeah, I can't get to stop playing one of these damn Match 3 games I did on her phone, and it's a bad game. It's not a very good game. It's an okay game. It's not bad, but it's like, it's okay. There are better games out there. But she keeps playing my game anyway. So she likes those games, right? And she's into those puzzle games, always being into that, right? But she never played, she wants to get to the higher level, of course. She wants to get further into the game. The game has more levels. She wants to get, higher up at the numbers. But she's never caring about, I want to have the high score on, level 135. I want to just get 106. I want to see the next level. That's what she plays. I want to beat the puzzle of each level, right? but she's never caring about doing this perfect optimization way. Like she never replays the levels. I just want to get further into the harder and harder levels and have harder puzzles, harder challenges. Not really interesting in that, and you see a different like game mechanics and different like worlds of the puzzle world and so on, right? So if you put her in CS, she's not gonna run around saying, "Oh, who can I stand? Where's the perfect place to aim at this place?" That doesn't really matter for her, right? That wouldn't really work for her, right? So that's why I think the anime did really well. There was a little unnecessary his jumping there. There was a little overkill. I was like, I want to watch the scenery. Yeah, that's a little unnecessary. He made it look completely retarded. But but generally, like he's the guy that's like, I play dating sim games and I play these other like role-playing games to kind of experience stuff and look at the game worlds and like see these like fantasy, these sci-fi worlds and so on. And they're like, oh, you're gonna play serious fighting games? He's like, that's not his thing, right? So it would be interesting to see if they can change his mind. They probably can't though. I hope they can't. I hope it's gonna join and he's gonna be in a club and sit there and play his like social game and don't refuse to help them with their like competitive CS or something. He's like, no, I don't wanna play that. And they're like, oh, we need a 5th member. Can you please be in the club? It's like, okay, fine. And you sit there like snipes or something, camp sniping or something like that. I hope something happens. Anyway, I don't know. I found it really enjoyable. The second half was really, really enjoyable. The first was okay, right? So I say again, the best part probably though that they went like that, right? So they just keep going upwards, right? And that makes hope this episode will be good. However, though, again, the banana thing was super funny and super hype for me, but it was so weird too. So I don't know where the comedy is gonna go with anime. I'm just confused. I'm like, okay, is that a thing? But I did love some of the Bowser, King Koopa thing. So I love those references. That I'm a gamer, I'm a nerd, right? So I want to see those things. So yeah, so I think it's gonna be great. We have to see in next week. So see you next week and have a great day.